called that timeout, and the team got together in the first half. I mean, overall, you guys, hung with Azusa. Hey, Watson has a pretty good game, but hey, you guys had played hard from start to finish.
We did, and again, that's never been a problem with this group. But as I've told them, we will praise the effort, we will praise the attitude, both of which have been excellent. But this game is about winning, and that's what we're not doing. And again, we find ourselves in circumstances that none of us had imagined, none of us have experienced. Usually, I've been doing this for a long time. Usually, there's something you can look back on and say, okay, last time we went through this, here's what we did, here's how we handled it. Don't have any of that for this. So again, the kids' effort Saturday night was great. Played hard. Their attitude throughout has been really good. I'm proud of them for that, of maintaining a positive attitude. We've had a lot of people jump off that bandwagon. So, but again, this game is about winning like any game, and that's what we're not doing. And we had our chances Saturday, certainly. We've got 2 offensive possessions, first and goal inside the 10, and come away with only 3 points. And so we left 8 points on the field, 11 points on the field, should we scored the 2 touchdowns, and we lost by 8. So again, that's an area that we just have not been able to produce nearly enough over the course of this season. We get the ball inside the 10 and either settle for 3 or come away empty too many times, and that's unacceptable. We have to be better.
Obviously, you want to get that first win back. I mean, I'm sure you guys are trying to see that 0 in the win column. For you guys, a big road trip this weekend. What's it going to take to have success?
Well, number one, we can't beat ourselves again, and right now we're minus 11 in the turnover takeaway category, and again, never been anywhere close to that before. So obviously it shows a weakness, both in terms of too many turnovers on the offensive side, although we had just the 1 on Saturday, and not enough takeaways on the defensive side. And again, Saturday we were not able to get any of those. So we've got to win that category. We've got to prevent the turnovers, and then we've got to take the ball away. Now Dixie's going to throw the football a whole lot more than Azusa Pacific did. Azusa's game plan was quite obvious. They were going to feed Terrell Watson as often as they could, but Dixie will be different. They're a passing team primarily with a decent running game, good running game, but Griff Robles to Joe Don Duncan has been kind of their number one go-to play. So we're going to have to do a thorough job of that, and hopefully get some pressure on the quarterback and force him into quick or poor throws and make some plays on the back end, because that's what we're not doing. We're just not making plays across the board, both sides of the ball, just not making plays when plays are there to be made. And we had those opportunities last Saturday. We clearly did. And whether it be the quarterback or the receiver or the defensive back, we're just not making enough of those plays.
When Azusa came here, they put up not Azusa, but the Dixie, excuse me. They put up 49 points.
Now they put up ugly numbers, yeah.
Ugly numbers.
Yeah,
and it's attributed, turnovers in the defense. And I'm sure this time around that the defense, hopefully, have learned from the mistakes you said with the passing game, and it's up, for the defense, the D-backs to really put in a good effort.
Well, it is, but we put our defense in a bad position the first time around. Again, we broke down in all 3 phases. It wasn't just our defense. We gave our defense too many short fields with which to operate via turnovers. Again, in that first game, we dropped we fumbled a punt return, okay, and gave them ball on the 13-yard line. We had a poor snap on a punt, gave them the ball on, I think, the 25 or 30-yard line. And then I believe we threw 3 or 4 interceptions on top of all that. You can't continue to put your defense, any defense, in that type of position with short fields now to defend after what we call sudden change situations and expect to be, come out with a win. And so that first half, the first time around, it all fell apart. We made just far too many mistakes. Dixie, to their credit, capitalized as good teams should, and they did, and put us down at halftime, and really, the game was over at that point. So again, it's very clear what we have to do. We have to take care of the football, okay, on the offensive side. We have to force the issue a little bit more and create some turnovers on the defensive side. And we have to be sound in the kicking game. We had 2 breakdowns in the kicking game. Game 1 against them, and both cost us. That was 14 points. And so, again, you're not going to beat anybody in this league if you do what we did the first time around.
Last week, you guys had a couple plays, some trickery, and is it something to the point, being winless, things are going your way, that you got to kind of open it up a little more, put in some plays things that you normally, wouldn't do?
Yeah, that's not, you watched me for 6 years now. That's not really my MO, but again, we're outmanned a little bit. Again, we started Cash Johnson at running back, and he's 5th or 6th on the depth chart at the start of the season, and we're in that situation, playing our 3rd, middle linebacker, that type of thing. So we're in that position, at a few spots right now. So again, we're trying to do anything and everything we can to get this monkey off our back. And I really do believe that if we can get that first one, the second one will follow quickly. But we've had a heck of a time trying to get that first one, obviously. And so we're we're digging deep into that bag and trying to pull out something. We started the game with a reverse. We threw a reverse pass and it was open. We just did not execute, which I take responsibility for. I actually designed the play, and I think I should have designed it with the Dexter Rice moving to his right because he's right-handed rather than moving to his left. But regardless, again, we're going to do everything we can and everything we need to help us get this win. And it didn't work last week, but we're playing everybody right there. We're toe-to-toe. It's not a situation where we're getting run off the field. We're playing hard, and we just got to eliminate the mistakes. We've got to do a better job in the red zone. We've got to do a better job of 3rd down and 4th down defensively. And again, I think if we can do those things, then we're going to get a win here, and hopefully this week.
Last question for me on the offense, going with the spread out there. Is that something too, when you haven't had much of the running game, they go more with the spread and be successful?
Well, that's a little bit, but again, it was just something that we had worked on during the week, and we had to plan on trying it, in the first half, and then it worked. We were able to get some offensive rhythm going with that. I think Azusa had a difficult time in terms of coming up with an answer for what we were doing. So, but primarily because of the offensive rhythm we're able to establish, we ended up staying with it a lot more than I had anticipated going into the game. So, again, our run game hasn't been what we're accustomed to. Obviously, we were spoiled around here with first Lyndon Rawls and then Nick Riccadooley, and we don't have that right now. We have a young offensive line, and so the run game has suffered a bit, and as a result, we've gone more to the air than maybe in previous years. But again, we're trying to find something that is effective, against each opponent each different week. And last week, going with the 5 wide package helped us out certainly.
Right, Coach, you're playing a Dixie State team, very powerful, as you said, passing attack, and that very talented tight end, J.D. Duncan. How do you go in stopping that on Saturday?
It's not easy. Joe Don Duncan is an NFL. He'll be in the NFL. He'll certainly be in somebody's camp next fall. He's I saw one publication that had him ranked as like the 4th or 5th by the best tight end in the country, all levels. He's that good, and he certainly is their go-to guy. Caught 14 balls last week. He's, I think, got 10 touchdowns on the season. He's an All-American certainly, and an NFL prospect. And so again, you try to just make sure that you impact him off the line of scrimmage. Don't give him a free release if you can. And then obviously you've got to play him both short and somebody over the top, because he's physical enough to separate from most defenders, and no one's had a plan to stop him yet. So if you got something, let me know. All right, because he's that good. He's a great young man too. I actually recruited him and got to know him a little bit in the process. He and his brother Jake, who's their middle linebacker and their leading tackler, and so those two kids have done a great job there for Dixie.